I think it's authenticity. I think that feminist leadership is all about authenticity, isn't it? It's about being able to listen, to empathize, to be inclusive. And that to me is extremely important, and to be really humble.
I think my X factors are energy and confidence. Those are not things that sort of appeared out of nowhere, but I think that's something that works for me, that's authentic to myself. I have energy. I like to engage with people. I like to support and influence. And that's something that we often see missing. And so I really encourage everyone to look at, what are you bringing to the table? What is your value add? How can you bring that to the table authentically and with confidence?
My X factor is about impact. So that everything I do, at the end of the day, did I make an impact?
So in a one-to-one response, I will describe myself as energetic and adaptable and staying womanly. So there was no specific dreams per se, but I was aiming to work for an MNC that was more open and with a learning environment.
So growing up, I think I had a lot of things I wanted to do. It was never one thing, but I did want to be a doctor, so I did achieve that. But I knew that when I do become a doctor, I wanted to not just be someone stuck in a clinic or a hospital, and I wanted to be out there helping others. So I think I'm lucky enough to have been able to achieve at least that part of my ambition.
My ambition was to be a lawyer, an interior decorator, and an accountant, all in that order. In short, I like to be innovative, to be creative, and to boldly go where no one has gone before.
I wanted to get a degree that sets me apart, and so I obtained a PhD in neuroscience. And when you say that, people often go, "Ooh, wow, that's kind of cool," right? So that set me apart. I wanted to live an exciting and unique life.
Well, I will tell them exactly what I asked myself. What will be on my tombstone or in my obituary? How will I be remembered? What mark did I leave on this earth? And I think that we have to tread so gently on this planet, and being kind and compassionate is really, what we need to be.
I always like to tell them, you own your own story. You're young. You're limitless. Yet you're vulnerable. So what do? Enhance your knowledge, your capacity, respect the diversity of insights, science, data, be inclusive. There is no linear progression in today's world. When I was growing up, I aimed to be a CEO, for example, in 10 years, in 15 years. But today, that linear progression does not happen anymore. So you need to evolve, you need to pivot along this disruptive journey. And you may crave for social media, which is, to me, pretty chaotic. You want to extend up and beyond to extend your boundaries. Accept that as part of the journey, you might fall, but trust yourself. And it is okay to fall sometimes.
My message to them is that the future is about predictable unpredictability. Basically, they are going to be faced with a lot more unknowns in the future. So the thing is not to be afraid, get used to it. Be guided by values that is nature-centric. We got to take care of our environment and our planet, and make sure it's people-centric. So put meaning to your purpose in life, and in whatever you decide to do, create an impact.
To all young professionals in the future workforce across the world, we were born into a certain geographical space with a certain passport, but we're all global citizens. My message there is, say yes to new opportunities. Be open to explore new things that excite you and also push you beyond your comfort zone.
The most courageous thing I think I've done is entrust my children to my husband. I think there have been many moments where I've had to really think hard and make some bold decisions. One, of course, was the establishment of Mercy Malaysia.
When I was 17, I chose to study in a country that was not my own. I was living in Germany at the time and I moved to the UK. A few months into my PhD, I really thought I was not going to survive. I felt like I didn't belong. I'm very grateful that I took that leap of faith, that I had the resilience to fight through it. And indeed, you can do anything with a degree in science.
It took a lot of guts to make a change, and it took a lot of guts for us to be able to face the nation. Courage alone is not enough. I think it took a lot of guts and grit to be able now to make that change for higher education in the country during the time when I was the Director General.
I boldly requested also for an opportunity to switch from an economic research role to a credit and corporate banking frontline role, which probably these two actions actually were the courageous actions that changed my life altogether.
If you've been in the humanitarian sector and seen how people have survived despite the terrible circumstances they are in, it gives you a lot of humility. And anytime I feel that I'm going through a bad time or this is going to be really difficult, I reflect and, I can picture faces of people who I have interacted with and worked with who have so much less than me, and yet, are so generous, are so courageous, so helpful, and that really puts things into perspective.
Number one, of course, is my husband, who does not clip my wings. The second one that encouraged me, I think, is my family. And the last one that gave me the courage is the support group. The support group can come from close friends or among colleagues.
Crafting what the future of life and what the future of work looks like. Understanding how do we really integrate the life that we create for ourselves, the life that we want for us, for our families, and integrate that with our choice of work, of career, because I don't think it's one or the other.
The courage to fail, the courage to pivot, the courage to stand up and rebuild, learn from your failures. This indeed foster a culture of innovation and excellence and help us build a better community, which is a better version of ourselves. So the community is the sum of all of us. If each one of us can better ourselves, the sum of all of that will actually means we have a better community, a better civil society.
Courage is important, but it's also very important to be more self-aware. You don't have to take a heroic mindset. I don't believe that people who want to do good are heroes. I think people who are more self-aware and knowing their limitations and where the boundaries of what they can tolerate is extremely important, especially if you're doing work that seems to be selfless. But until and unless you are self-aware, you could actually put yourself and others in harm's way.
Courage is one of the key factors, but courage alone is not enough. The Merdeka Award, familiar with that because it celebrates the culture of excellence. But we also need to look at what is the journey towards attaining that culture of excellence. Basically, it doesn't come overnight. You need to sow the seeds to nurture that culture of excellence.
Courage is a key factor in fostering a culture of excellence, full stop. You need to have the courage to question yourself, question the people around you, question the information around you. A lot of that information isn't factual necessarily. You need to have the courage to challenge. Only when we do foster this culture of courage, where you dare to speak up, you dare to speak out, can we really continuously strive to do better in that pursuit to create a culture of excellence.